Let's take a look at linear equations and rational equations. Let's first write the steps down for linear equations. For linear equations, we have a note that goes up top. It says at any step, combine like terms and combine numbers. Now specifically, you do that anywhere in math, but in linear equations, I like to really emphasize it. Step 1. Get rid of parentheses. And you do this via the distributive property. Step 2. Get rid of fractions. And we do this by multiplying. Multiply everything by the LCM of all the denominators. Step 3. Get everything with an x on one side numbers on the other side. Step 4. Divide both sides by the number in front of the x. Now now that I wrote this in terms of x's, how I teach math is I tend not to show shortcuts. I try to look for one step-by-step approach that will work 100% of the time, or as close to 100% as I can get. I think where a lot of people get stuck on math is they don't know when to use the shortcuts. Now, if you're good in math and you see the shortcut and you're wondering why isn't he using those, I see them. But again, I'm trying to teach it so that it's as easy as possible for people to understand. You're welcome to use the shortcuts. Let's take a look at our first problem. 5x minus 9 equals 51. First step, get rid of parentheses. Don't have any. Second step, get rid of fractions. Don't have any. Third step, get everything with an x on one side, numbers on the other side. I'm going to take the negative 9 to the right side. Now when you take anything across the equals, the sign changes. So the negative 9 becomes a positive 9. Now, some of you may have learned that different, putting like a plus 9 underneath each side. That's okay if it works for you. That's the key. You'll find in college algebra, as well as intermediate, sometimes you're moving so many things back and forth across your equals that can get confusing using that pre-algebra type. It really is just as simple as when you move anything across the equals, the sign changes. Well, our note up at the top says that any step combine together the numbers. 51 plus 9 gives us 60. And we're down to step 4. Divide both sides by a number in front of the x. The number in front of the x is a 5. So we're going to divide both sides by 5. And do that. Those 5's cancel. And that gives me 12. And that's my answer. We don't see those steps anymore, but we're still going to follow them. 8 times x minus 2 minus 4 equals x minus 5 times x plus 6. And yeah, okay, I got the x. Okay, I got everything. First step, get rid of parentheses. And we have parentheses in this one. This 8 right next to parentheses indicates multiplication. So we're going to take the 8 and multiply it times the x and times the negative 2. And over here we'll take the negative 5 and multiply it times the x and multiply it times the 6. Well, 8 times x is 8x. 8 times negative 2 is negative 16. And I'll bring down the minus 4. Bring down the x. Negative 5 times x is negative 5x. And negative 5 times 6 gives us a negative 30. Now our note up at top said in any step combine together numbers. Negative 16, negative 4 is negative 20. And also to combine together like terms. Like terms are the same variable, the same power. The x and negative 5x are like terms. And you add or subtract the numbers that are out in front. Well, the number in front of our x is the invisible 1. So we got a positive 1 and negative 5. So that gives us a negative 4x. And I'll bring it down to minus 30. Second step, get rid of fractions. Don't have any. And that was rude of that thing. I was running a processing. I just didn't think it flipped me over there. Second step, get rid of fractions. Don't have any. Third step, get everything with an x on one side, numbers on the other. I'm talking about terms specifically here. So I'm going to take the negative 4x to the left side, and I'll take the negative 20 to the right side. You take anything across your equals, the sign changes, so negative 4x becomes a positive 4x. The negative 20 becomes a positive 20. At any step, combine together like terms. 8x plus 4x gives us 12x. And combine together numbers. Negative 30 plus 20 gives us negative 10. Last step, step 4. Divide both sides by the number in front of your x. So we're going to divide both sides by 12. And those 12s cancel. And 10 and 12 both divisible by 2, so that gives us negative 5 over 6. And that's our answer. Let's say you stink at fractions, and you couldn't simplify a fraction if your life depended upon it. Calculator is really nice in this regard. You want to be out of graph mode if you're in graph mode. We want to reduce negative 10 twelfths. So I do a negative 10 divided by 12. Enter. And when you get the decimal, you would change it to a fraction by doing math, enter. And that'll reduce it to negative 5/6. Now, if you're going into nursing, and there might be other degrees that are like that, you have to know how to do those by hand. So don't let the calculator cripple you. Okay, let's look at our third example. So we've got 8 minus 3x plus 2 equals 10 minus 2x. Well, first step, get rid of parentheses. We have parentheses here. We just have a negative in front of it. We don't have any number here, but remember, their invisible 1 is always there if there is no number. So we're going to take this negative 1 and multiply it times the 3x and multiply it times the 2. So the 8 carries down. Negative 1 times 3x is negative 3x. Negative 1 times 2 is negative 2. Now the shortcut on that is whenever you have a negative in front of parentheses, just flips the sign everything inside. Our note up at top said at any step combine together numbers. Well, 8 minus 2 gives us 6. Step 2, get rid of fractions. Don't have any. Step 3, get everything with an x on one side, numbers on the other. I'll take negative 2x over the left side and take the 6 to the right side. You'll find sometimes if you take them to the correct side, it will save you a step. I tend to always take my x's to the left side, though sometimes I do vary from that. Taking the negative 3x to the right side would have been easier in this problem. But anyway, I'm taking negative 2x to the left side, so it becomes a positive 2x. I'm taking a 6 to the right side, so it becomes a negative 6. Combine together like terms at any step. Negative 3x plus 2x gives us negative 1x, or just negative x, whichever one you will put. And 10 minus 6 gives you 4. Now the last step. Divide both sides by the number in front of your x. So we're going to divide both sides by negative 1. And those negative 1's cancel there. And our answer is x is equal to negative 4. Take a look at another one. Got x over 7 equals x over 4 plus 3. We want to solve it just like before. First step, get rid of parentheses. Don't have any. Second step, get rid of fractions. I do have fractions here. And remember our steps for that was to multiply everything by the LCM of all our denominators. Well, we got 7 and 4. Our LCM of that would be 28. So I'll multiply the x over 7 by 28. Multiply the x over 4 by 28. And multiply the 3 by 28. Now 28 and 7 are both divisible by 7. 7 divided by 7 is 1. 28 divided by 7 is 4. 4 and 28 both divisible by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 28 divided by 4 is 7. You'll know you picked the right LCM if you end up with all 1's in your denominators, which we did. 4 times x is 4x equals 7 times x is 7x, and 84, I believe. My brain's starting to shut down, but I think that's right. Okay, see, that was step 2. Step 3. Get everything with an x on one side, numbers on the other. I'll take 7x over the left side. It becomes a negative 7x. Remember, you take anything across your equals, the sign changes. Combine together like terms at any step. 4x minus 7x gives us negative 3x. Last step. Divide both sides by the number in front of your x, which in this case is negative 3. And those negative 3's cancel. And let's see, goes in there 2 times, that's 6, 24. I believe that's right. It's probably a mistake to do this section 1 o'clock at night, but anyway, that's my excuse if you find any errors on this video. Okay. Let's take a look at the next one. Got 5x minus 2x over 3 equals 7x over 2 plus 1/2. Well, first step, get rid of parentheses. Don't have any. Second step, get rid of fractions. Multiply everything by the LCM of all your denominators. I got 3, 2, and 2. The LCM of that would be 6. Since these are repeated, we don't need to worry about that. So I'll multiply everything by 6. So multiply that 5x by 6. I'll multiply the 2x over 3 by 6, leaving a negative out in front. I'll multiply the 7x over 2 by 6. And I'll multiply the 1/2 by 6. Well, here 3 and 6 both divisible by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 6 divided by 3 is 2. Here 2 and 6 both divisible by 2. Did I say 6 and 3 both divisible by 3? 6 and 2 both divisible by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 2 and 6 here both divisible by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So we got 30x, 6 times 5x, minus 2 times 2x gives us 4x, equals 3 times 7 is 21x, and 3 times 1, which gives us 3. Let me double check that. Yeah. Now combine together like terms at any step. Left side, I got 30x minus 4x gives us 26x. Okay, third step. Get everything with an x on one side and numbers on the other. So I'm going to take the 21x over to the left side. So I got 26x minus 21x equals 3. Remember, when you take anything across the equals, the sign changes. Combine together like terms. 26x minus 21x gives us 5x equals 3. And last step, divide both sides by the number in front of your x, which is a 5. And those 5's cancel. And we got x is equal to 3/5. And that's our answer. Let me save that page. Equations, page 01. There we go. And let's look at our last linear equation. Then we'll start talking about rational equations, which are very similar. 2 plus x plus 1 over 2 equals x minus 5 over 9. Okay, first step, get rid of parentheses. Don't have any. Second step, get rid of fractions. Multiply everything by the LCM of all your denominators. I got 2 and 9, or LCM would be 18. So multiply everything by 18. So multiply it times the 2. Multiply it times the x plus 1 over 2. And multiply it times the x minus 5 over 9. Now here, 2 and 18 both divisible by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 18 divided by 2 is 9. Here, 9 and 18 both divisible by 9. 9 divided by 9 is 1. 18 divided by 9 is 2. So I got 18 times 2 gives us 36, plus 9 times x is 9x, and 9 times 1 gives us 9. That's the distributive property. And over here, 2 times x is 2x, and 2 times negative 5 is negative 10. Now at any step, combine together numbers. So over on the left side, I got 36 plus 9 gives us 45. Step 3, get everything with an x on one side, numbers on the other. So I'll take 2x over the left side, and I'll take 45 over to the right side. Take anything across here equals, the sign changes. So the positive 2x becomes a negative 2x. And the 45, when I take it to the right side, becomes a negative 45. At any step, combine together like terms. 9x minus 2x gives us 7x. And combine together numbers. Negative 10, negative 45 is negative 55. Step 4, divide both sides by the number in front of your x. So divide both sides by 7. And those 7's cancel. And our answer is x is equal to negative 55 over 7. Okay, so we got 3 times x minus 2 equals 3x minus 6. Instructions say determine whether each equation is an identity, a conditional equation, or an inconsistent equation. It'd be better if they just said solve first and then had that, but let's just solve it like normal, see what happens. Okay, first step, get rid of parentheses. Don't have any, oh, I do have some. Okay, this is my last lecture, and then I'm going to bed. So I'm going to multiply the 3 times the x, that gives us 3x. And 3 times negative 2, which gives us negative 6. Step 2, get rid of fractions. Don't have any. Step 3, get everything with an x on one side and numbers on the other. So I take 3x over to the left side, and take negative 6 to the right side. Remember, when you take anything across your equals, the sign changes, so 3x becomes negative, and then negative 6 becomes positive. At any step, combine together like terms. 3x minus 3x is 0. Combine together numbers. Negative 6 plus 6 is 0. Now we have a problem. We were solving for x, and all of a sudden our x disappeared completely. And we got something 0 equals 0. Well, the question is, when is 0 equals 0? And the answer, of course, is always. Always in mathematics means identity. Basically, you're going to come down to something where you have 3 equals 3, 5 equals 5. Actually, up at this point, 3x minus 6 equals 3x minus 6. When you see that, that's automatically an identity. Now, what that means is that you can put any number in for x and it'll work. If I put in 1 up here, it'll work. If I put in 7, it'll work. That's what an identity is. Let's take a look at our 12th example. 5x over x equals 5. And we're going to solve it like normal. First step, get rid of parentheses, don't have any. Second step, get rid of fractions. Multiply everything by the LCM of all their denominators. Well, our only denominator is x, so we're going to multiply everything by x. I'm going to do that. These x is going to cancel. And we get 5x is equal to 5x. Third step, get everything with an x on one side, numbers on the other. I'll take 5x over here. And we get 5x minus 5x. And since there's nothing left on the right side, we got 0 there. Combine together like terms at any step. 5x minus 5x is 0, so we get 0 is equal to 0. Now, the particular textbook we're using this semester has a problem like this in there, and they refer to it as an identity, which isn't technically correct. Identity means you can plug any value in for it. But if we look at our original problem, we can't put 0 in here. If I put 0 in for x, then we'll have a 0 down denominator. So it's real close. It'll work for every value except for 0. Now, if you take it in simplified form where you cancel the x's, then yeah, I agree with it. Okay. So we got number 13. We got 6x plus 3x equals 15x. Okay. At any step, combine together like terms. 6x plus 3x is 9x. First step, get rid of parentheses. Don't have any. Second step, get rid of fractions. Don't have any. Third step, get everything with an x on one side, numbers on the other. So I'll take 15x over to the left side. So we got 9x minus 15x. Again, remember when you take anything across your equals, your sign changes. Combine together like terms at any step. 9x minus 15x is negative 6x. Last step, divide both sides by a number in front of your x, so we'll divide both sides by negative 6. And those negative 6's cancel there. And we get 0 divided by negative 6, which is 0. Here we actually came up with an answer. This is the conditional. See how it's asking if it's conditional? If you come up with an answer, just like normal, that's a conditional equation. It's conditionally true when x is equal to 0. And last problem. 7x minus 3 equals 7x minus 5. First step, get rid of parentheses. Don't have any. Second step, get rid of fractions. Don't have any. Third step, get everything with an x on one side, numbers on the other. So I'll take 7x over the left side, negative 3 over to the right. Take anything across your equals, the sign changes. So 7x becomes a negative 7x. The negative 3 becomes a positive 3. Well, combine together like terms at any step. 7x minus 7x is 0. And combine together numbers. Negative 5 plus 3 is negative 2. Well, we have a problem. We're solving for x, and our x disappeared again. The question is, when is 0 equal to negative 2? And the answer is never. that means that there's no solution. Now this is how I like to write this. So if you come up with something that can't be, 0 is equal to 1, 0 is equal to 5, 0 is equal to negative 2, that's always a no solution. This particular book refers to them as inconsistent equations. I don't really care if you're in my class how you write it, no solution or inconsistent. To me, the no solution is better. It means there's no answer. And that's the last problem. So I guess I'm done recording, and I can save this.